Welcome to Pathways. I'm Dr. Kate Hetherington, president of Howard Community College. It's been a record-breaking year. The U.S. Department of Commerce recently selected HCC as the winner of the 2019 Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. It is the nation's only presidential-level honor for performance excellence in organizations. HCC has systematically focused on increasing completion, closing the achievement gap, and preparing students for the workforce. The Baldrige program provides a framework to measure organizational success. HCC has followed this framework since 2005. The Chronicle of Higher Education has named HCC a great college to work for the 11th consecutive year. HCC is the only Maryland community college and one of only 2 community colleges across the country to receive this honor every year possible. HCC receives special recognition in the survey for facilities, workspace, security, and supervisor and department chair relationship. The survey is the largest and most comprehensive workplace survey in higher education. The Washington Monthly has named Howard Community College as one of the nation's best 2-year colleges for adult learners for the 4th year in a row. HCC came in at number 30 on the list, with high scores for ease of transfer, flexibility of programs, and services for adult students. HCC is the only Maryland community college to have earned a spot in the top 30 every year since the rankings began. Another exciting experience for HCC was the reopening of its 2 renovated buildings, Academic Commons and Howard Hall. These buildings reflect the college's focus on providing education that is infused with hands-on experiences. The ribbon-cutting ceremony invited the community to explore the new buildings and what they now offer.
4, 3, 2, 1.
What makes this project stand out is that these buildings will serve so many of our students. All these students will find their academic home here as they prepare for their careers.
And today's ribbon cutting symbolizes the opening of this new facility and also symbolizes the beginning of this journey for many students who will pass through these doors over the years.
A community college that does help not only every student, every community member, but every educator who wants to make sure that we live our best lives as educators, tapping into the potential of the future.
Academic Commons and Howard Hall offer specialized spaces designed to build skills that students need for the workforce. The new classrooms and kitchens for the Center for Hospitality and Culinary Studies will serve students today and into the future.
Students benefit from hands-on learning in the Culinary Suite with its new classrooms and baking kitchen. Baking and pastries student Delaney Waldhauser says it's a big step up for her and her fellow students.
We all had one oven, we all had one stove, we all had to share, and typically it wasn't too bad, but I would take something out of the oven that I thought was mine and turned out to be someone else's, and it could get frustrating at times, for sure. I like that here we each have our own oven, we each have our own station, we each have our own mixer, so that's nice. I can just because once I get going, I'm just one-track mind.
At the 12 stations in the new baking kitchen, students work in teams to complete their assigned recipes. The new configuration offers a small refrigerator, a mixer, a convection burner, cookware, and more. Each station also gets a large mixer and a deck oven. This configuration allows students to build skills in a real-world environment.
It's preparing me by making me realize how important time management is and being able to clean up after myself and work under pressure and work with other people and just how to do everything kind of quickly and precisely, which I don't think a lot of other schools would give me that experience.
The new facility and equipment will allow for students to be taught on the same machinery they would see in a large hotel or bakery. At the center of the renovation is the Student Dining Lab. Aspiring chefs like Robin John Baptiste gain valuable experience in the production kitchen.
I love it because I work in a restaurant now, but the new kitchens are definitely much better than my job. And I love using the new equipment and using equipment that you wouldn't typically find in just any kitchen, especially because it's expensive. So I think it's one of those things where it allows me to gain experience here, but also in the world where if I'm using the same equipment out in my workforce, then I'll be able to say, okay, well, this is how you use it, and I can train other people.
The hospitality students are responsible for setting up the restaurant, interacting with the customers, and filling orders. Josephina Kenny is new to the program, but not to the industry.
Looking at the kitchens and just the kitchens for what they have to offer for the culinary students is amazing. And then having this like mock restaurant is really great because I've been in fine dining for 3.5 years. So that's taught me a lot. It's really good going more in depth into it and learning about it. So having this for us to be more hands-on in this program is what we need.
Serving guests in the dining lab helps students plan their pathway to success. Students from multiple classes work together to make meals and host events, all wonderful practice for their future careers.
3 classes in one. It was the Food Prep 2, the Meetings and Conventions, and my Intro to Hospitality class. Working together and executing it was really great. It was great to meet them. It was great to see how we all worked together because we're all in this program and we'll be working together again in the future.
As the hospitality and culinary programs continue to evolve, alumni are already making their mark. They are finding success and proving HCC helped them to get there from here.
Zara Sajjad originally went to Howard Community College to be a dental hygienist, but after taking a few culinary classes, she developed a passion for baking, so she joined the culinary program.
HCC actually, they opened a lot of doors for me. I was able to become a work-study student. I had a lot of one-on-one learning with the chefs.
Through HCC's culinary program, Zara was able to connect with the Victoria Restaurant Group. A week after graduation, she became the group's new pastry assistant. Now she's the pastry chef for all 3 of their restaurants.
It's actually a great opportunity to grow and learn. I'm able to create new desserts. We change our menu every season. And with the seasons, I get to create new desserts.
Ashlyn Jackson is a former classmate of Zara's, and now they're co-workers.
So when I was in transitioning from looking for another job, I reached out to another former graduate from HCC, and she told me that Victoria Restaurant Group was hiring. Now I am a pastry chef for all 3 restaurants. It's great. It's just like school. We did work study together, so we know how each other works.
Ashlyn credits the culinary program's small class sizes for helping her gain valuable knowledge.
It was very small classes, enough to learn what you need to learn, hands-on. It was great. The classes made me realize I can do what I want to do.
Ankit Wadhwani had one thing in mind when he came to the U.S. from India. He wanted to open his own restaurant, and he chose HCC to help him get there.
Already I had my interest in cooking, but I didn't have a degree. Like I was not qualified to wear this jacket. Oh, they changed me entirely. Now I can cook anything.
Ankit used those abilities to open his own place, Namaste Foodie, which serves Indian street food. He makes everything from scratch, using both local ingredients and items shipped in from India.
So all those little things counts, people appreciate, but it takes a lot of efforts. I'm ready to work a lot, so I'm looking forward to it and make something big out of this small food stand.
Charlotte Berry was able to combine 2 of her passions at HCC, baking and accounting. And that helped her move on to a career she hadn't even thought of.
You have to take business courses to, really get the full aspect of what owning your own business or your own restaurant or bakery would be like. Because of accounting, I ended up going to a job fair. Orinoco Coffee and Tea was at the job fair, and I stumbled upon them, and they were like, you'd have opportunities in accounting and bookkeeping, and it's almost hospitality still, so it seemed to pair both up together. They've helped me through the rest of my college and then allowed me to stay on full time. I hope to continue to grow here and watch Orinoco grow as well.
To learn more about the culinary and hospitality programs, visit howardcc.edu/hospitality. Students who pursue their education at HCC may need help with the cost of tuition, books, or supplies, so generous donors provide much-needed scholarship assistance through the Howard Community College Educational Foundation. Ellen Saville of the BIC Educational Foundation and Pete Mangione of Turf Valley Resort share why they give to students.
Any way you slice it, the newly renovated Culinary Suite serves up opportunities. The newest opportunity provides scholarship funds and a full-year work-study internship position from the BIC Educational Foundation.
There's one student that's selected for the culinary internship, and that person actually works here in the hospitality and culinary department. So they're learning some of the stuff that they actually have been taught in school, and they get to apply it.
Culinary student Geraldine Brown was running her own catering business, providing free, high-quality meals to homeless populations when she entered the HCC culinary program and was selected for the internship.
They knew my story. They heard of my story when I first came here, and they were like, hey, you're a good fit for our program. Would you like to do work study? And I said, sure, that would be great for me, and it would help me, be hands-on.
So hands-on is always important, because so many times you learn something and then you actually are in the world and you're just, oh my goodness, what am I supposed to do? But now they've had the opportunity not only to have learned it in school, but also then to have the guidance oftentimes of the professors here or the chefs here to make sure that they're actually executing things as they should.
Additional support for culinary and hospitality students comes from longtime donors, the Mangione family. In their honor, HCC has renamed its culinary area with new kitchens and classrooms as the Nicholas B. and Mary C. Mangione Turf Valley Resort Hospitality and Culinary Suite. The space serves as the ideal place to recognize the Mangione family values of hard work and education.
I went to school years ago, and I was very fortunate. I was expected to go to school. My parents were successful, and we had everything that was, I almost took it for granted. And then when you go and hear these students who speak to you about how grateful they are for this opportunity and how they're making the best of this opportunity, that's why we give.
Students from both the culinary and hospitality areas often take field trips and intern at Turf Valley to learn about different aspects of the industry. Exploring their interests as well as the industry can lead to a rewarding career, and for Mangione, future employees. He sees investing in the program as a win-win.
It's been a benefit for us as well. We've got to meet some students. We've had a couple interns who have interned here. Some have worked here further after their internship, have stayed here. So it's certainly been a good partnership for us.
The Turf Valley Internship Program serves as a career pipeline for students such as Tremaine George.
It's a lot of work. It had me cutting a lot of fruit, vegetables, basically assisting the other chefs. It was a lot of work. It was a good experience though. I really enjoyed it.
Contact the HCC Educational Foundation at 443-518-1970 to learn more about how your gift can change a life. Inside the college's newly reopened buildings, Academic Commons and Howard Hall, there are exciting new spaces to engage students pursuing careers in the social sciences, criminal justice, and teacher education. There's also a special gathering space for students in the honors programs. Here to tell us more is Dr. Laura Cripps, Dean of Social Sciences and Teacher Education, and Dr. Matt Van Hoos, Senior Director of Academic Engagement. Welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I'll start with you, Laura. Can you tell us how teaching has evolved in the social sciences and why new classrooms were needed?
So the faculty in social sciences have always really prided themselves on integrated and active learning, but we really needed some spaces that would allow us to really build on these techniques. Specifically, we have a specialized criminal justice mock courtroom, and that's to provide students with flexible furniture to create a courtroom environment where they can practice some of the theoretical and practical applied experiences that they're talking about in class. We have an anthropology lab attached to our classroom, which will allow students to partake in applied undergraduate research in anthropology, specifically in archaeology, but also in some of the ethnography work that we get them to do, and also in forensic anthropology and biological anthropology. So we have cast specimens of hominin skulls and bones and things like that. And then finally, in the education labs, we actually have a simulated sort of early childhood and elementary childhood education environment where students can practice actual lesson plans that they would be able to put into place in a real classroom. They have the sinks and the tables and everything at the right height. And then in addition to those, we've got just all of our classrooms are now flexible in their design, their furniture. They allow for completely changing the environmental space so that students can be doing group work or using movable whiteboards or be in a debate format. And that really allows us to energize our teaching and to keep things interactive and interesting for students.
Well, what a wonderful experience for HCC students, and also it's wonderful for the faculty because you're teaching in an environment that's opposed to what the standard is, that
Yeah.
you know what most people grew up with the teacher in the front of the room and everyone else in the back of the room. So.
Exactly. I mean, for many of us, the best classes happen when the students are involved and we're talking and we're getting their ideas and their input. And we really have moved away from this sage on the stage, tiered lecture hall model. And so it keeps it refreshing for us and it allows us to tangent and follow where the class wants to go sometimes while still hitting all those learning objectives.
Well, wonderful. I'm glad you're enjoying your new space.
Thank you. We are.
Now, Matt, I know our honors programs are designed to build connections between students. How can having a space to call their own make a difference to students?
Absolutely. So that space to call their own is the Honors Commons. It's about 1,000 square feet at the end of Howard Hall. And you know, it's really enabling our honors programs to take some next steps in what is their long history. So one of the emphases that we really weave in to all of our honors programs is project-based learning. You know, ideally, our students are going to learn as much or more from one another as they learn from us at the front of the classrooms. And so we really create opportunities for students to collaborate around ambitious and independently kind of defined projects. And the Honors Commons is an ideal space. You know, if you walk by at any given point of the day, you'll see folks huddled around whiteboards or looking together at a textbook. And so it's become a really vibrant space in that way. The other thing that the Commons allows our students to do is come together in an interdisciplinary way. And interdisciplinarity is another main focus that we've really been working to emphasize in honors in recent years. So, you know, they'll be working on case studies like, for example, the Flint drinking water crisis of a few years back. And we challenge our students to kind of come together to see how different academic disciplines shed some light on that kind of a complex social but also scientific problem. So we'll have one student who's sharing perspectives from, say, biology or chemistry, and another student, though, who's looking at the same problem from the perspectives of, say, social history or political science. And we really encourage students to bring those perspectives together in their work and in their conversations. Here again, that common space is a place where our honors students can come together to have those sort of vibrant interdisciplinary academic conversations. And then one final point that I would mention is that, you know, it's really important to us, consistent with our community college mission, to ensure that we are making honors learning experiences, those invigorating, transformative experiences, accessible to as many different students throughout our student body as possible. And so what the Commons allows us to do is, you know, if there's a student who wants to learn more about that kind of opportunity, well, they have a place to go now. And from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., the Commons is open to any student, any HCC student who wants to come in and be a part of that kind of academic and intellectual climate. And we have student workers there, 9 to 5, who we've trained to really be aware of the many different ways in which students can get involved with honors. And so in that way, too, the Commons is really helping us to redouble our outreach and ensure that we're realizing the full potential of these programs for our students.
Well, when I hear you speak, you know, two things pop up that employers are always asking us to have students prepared to do, and that's exercise your critical thinking skills and be able to participate in a team. So just those two of the many skills that students leave HCC with are certainly present in the academic commons, so thank you for your work with that.
Oh, it's been a great opportunity. Thank you.
Now, for both of you, can you share one special moment that you've experienced in your new spaces? So Laura, I'll begin with you.
Ooh, that's a good question. I think seeing the students use the collective and collaborative study spaces for the first time, coming in the morning and actually all times of day and evening. So coming in at 8 o'clock and seeing students working individually, but also around the soft sort of stools and the collaborative whiteboards that are on the walls, and then leaving in the evening and finding a different group of students doing something else, and they've really filled the space, made it their own. They've sort of put their tag onto it, and Social Sciences is piloting the Pathways initiative, and so it combines with the Instagram and the collective or curriculum that's shared, and the assignments and the events to really kind of make it a space that's theirs in a kind of similar way to honours.
Wonderful. And Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, it's a similar story. You know, at any given time of day, you do see students using the space in different ways. One of the things I'm very proud of and energized by as it relates to our honor students is the way in which they're starting to take ownership of the space explicitly by, you know, bringing ideas to the honors staff and faculty about the ways in which they'd like to make use of the space for different types of club meetings, for different types of events, lectures. So we're really starting to see a cadre of students step forward, and in fact we're encouraging that. We're, you know, in the process of forming a sort of student advisory body to make sure that this space is meeting all the different student interests and needs that it can. So that's been really fun to see.
Well, the both buildings have really just taken off in terms of student engagement and the connection that students have, and I know that it will be an enriching experience for them. They'll always be remembering they were the first ones to be in this new space. So
That's right.
Thank you both. Thank you both for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Two other programs that have their own spaces in the buildings are Silas Craft Collegians, an academic learning and leadership community, and P.R.I.D.E, a leadership development program designed for Black and African American male students.
P.R.I.D.E is a premier award-winning minority leadership program. It bridges the academic gap in mathematics as well as building community on this campus. From 2005 to now, we've jumped tremendously to over 200 students.
Because of its growth, P.R.I.D.E needed a second location on campus, one designed for an even more personal experience.
So in this smaller area, we have that one-on-one and individual tutoring that they needed to succeed in mathematics, as well as just in case they want someone to talk to. It's more private.
It's definitely needed because sometimes they use our main office for classes and other things. We're guys, so it can get a little rowdy, a little bit loud, so coming over here is just peace and quiet.
Yeah, I like the smaller space. As I said, it's more peace of mind.
Howard Hall is also the new home of the Silas Craft Collegians program. Staff and students are all pretty excited about the new space.
The Silas Craft Collegians program is a comprehensive academic leadership and learning community here at the college. What we do is we provide students with the tools to be successful where they may have struggled with academic motivation coming straight out of high school. The new offices are amazing, actually. Now we have a centralized office within Howard Hall, and it provides us with the opportunity to support each other as a team.
It gives us like a place to where you can all like meet each other, meet our friends. We can like help each other with assignments. We can work on our projects together.
It's very comfortable and relaxing and just overall good studying environment for us.
The new office provides students with access to computers and printers and even a kitchen where they can leave their lunch. The space also gives them something even more special.
Silas Craft makes me like a family, like a group I have on campus. Like I know that I can finish a class, come here, I can talk to my friends for a while, and then go back to class.
And it really provides them with a sense of belonging and a sense of home within their home here at the college.
And for both programs, the new locations provide a great way to attract new students.
It makes us more visible because we're right in the mecca of where most of the traffic is. So people see us and like, oh, that's Howard P.R.I.D.E.
And so that is what we market to our potential students, a space that they can truly call their own and a space that they can truly feel comfortable in and welcomed in.
The Silas Craft Collegians program is for students coming directly from high school. Information and applications are available online at howardcc.edu/SilasCraft. Howard P.R.I.D.E is available for male students of all ages who have taken at least 6 credits. Find out more at howardcc.edu/HowardPride. Welcome back. While HCC has wonderful academic programs available for students, not everyone is ready to participate. Many immigrants face language barriers or do not know how to navigate American work culture. For these reasons, HCC is developing the Skilled Immigrant Program to expand career opportunities for immigrants in the community. I'm pleased to be joined by Rosie P.R.I.D.E, Senior Director of Languages and Culture. Welcome, Rosie.
Thank you for having me.
Rosie, can you tell me how this new program was developed?
So the program started with the Multicultural Banking and Finance training course, which was a result of a conversation between Ann Johnson in the Educational Foundation and area employers from banks who were really looking to fill a gap in their employment. And what they were finding is because Howard County is such a diverse county, they weren't just looking for high school graduates who could work in a bank. They were looking for people who could really communicate with members of their diverse community. And over in the English Language Center, we support 2,200 students a year who are from 100 different countries and who speak 70 different languages. So we really felt like it was a good partnership to bring us together with the employers.
So how great is this need in Howard County?
So based on statistics from the U.S. Census from 2017, the population of foreign-born residents of Howard County is about 20%, which is actually higher than both the Maryland State population, which is 15%, and the U.S. population was about 13.5%. So we're a very diverse community, which we all know, right? That's not a surprise to anyone. What I think is interesting and what has been interesting to people to learn is that in Howard County, that population of immigrants, 60% of them are coming to us with education for bachelor's degree or higher from their home countries. And that's a really high percentage, actually 61%. And many of them are coming here to work for APL or to work for Johns Hopkins, and those are not the populations we're concerned with. But many of them are coming here and they've got these great skills, they've got these great experiences, and they're driving an Uber or they're working in a convenience store because that's the work that they can find. So on the one hand, you've got that population that we're concerned about, and on the other hand, you have unemployment rates at 3%, 3.5%. So employers are really, really looking for employees. They're looking for workers. And what they're finding is not just that they can't find employees, but they have this skill gap. They can't find the employees that have the skills that they need. And so they have the gap over here, we have a population over here, how are we going to get them together? And so that's really what we're looking to do with this program.
And just describe the type of work that people are typically doing once they finish the program.
So right now the program consists of the banking class, and so they're often starting in entry-level positions in banks, so tellers are slightly above a teller, and then because they have all of this background, they're moving very quickly through the ranks in a bank. They're learning each step, and then they're ending up in managerial positions in banks. We also have the other part of the program right now is the healthcare interpreters training certificate, and those graduates are working as healthcare interpreters in the hospitals, in doctors' offices, in the health department, really helping the lower skilled immigrant population gain access to healthcare career or to their healthcare information from their providers.
So these are great opportunities for people and opportunities that they can climb up the career ladder once they're in.
Yeah.
So that's what we have now, but what do you see for the future?
At the beginning of this semester, we decided we've run through 3 cohorts of the banking program, and it was time to just take a pause and look at what it is that we have been doing and evaluate it. Is it really successful? Are we really meeting the needs of the community? Are we meeting the needs of the students? And so some of the staff in the languages and cultures sat down and went through the best practices of other organizations in the country that are serving this population. And they came away from that evaluation with having identified 4 main barriers to employment for highly skilled immigrants. And one of them is language proficiency. And we feel like here at HCC we have that covered, right? We're offering that. Another element is credentials transfer. There are organizations in the country that do that. We can put people in touch with those organizations, fine, that's not a problem. The last two are the ones that we're really focusing on, and that's social capital or social networks, access to social networks, and U.S. job experience. So access to social capital is what we have found to be the most successful thing that's come out of the Skilled Immigrant program so far. That program really brings together the employers and the students and puts them in the same room together. We have bankers come in to do guest lectures on their aspect of the finance industry. We have them come in and do mock interviews with the students several times. And so the students suddenly have access to the people who are actually making those hiring decisions. And that has been the biggest benefit for them so far. And the example I like to talk about is a student named Luis, who's from Colombia, South America, and came here to Columbia, Maryland. And he has an MBA from Colombia, and he was running an auto dealership in Colombia. And he came here, and the job he could find is working in an auto dealership detailing cars. So MBA, he's washing cars. And he's a high-level English, really, really articulate, charming person. We just needed to get him in the room with people who could see that. And we did, and he left mock interviews with cards from everyone. They all wanted to hire him. He's working for one of the banks now, and he's very successful. And so it's really making those connections between our population and the employers that we're looking to expand as this program moves forward. So the first step in that expansion is the development of the Skilled Immigrant Network, which we've already begun, where we're trying to connect leaders of ethnic-based community-based organizations and ethnic faith-based organizations along with employers in the area and resources that we already have on campus, from the Career Center to the Development Office. We have many, many resources already here on campus, so we can bring in those employers to help our students get access to mentoring, to networking, to internship opportunities. Then we can really expand the opportunities for them, help the employers, help the county, help our students.
Well, thank you for the work that you and your team are doing. We really are responding to the needs of our community, and having those partnerships with banks and other organizations really has made a difference in the lives of students and their families. So thank you, Rosie. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Before we wrap up, I want to introduce you to the Dragon Scales, HCC's first co-ed a cappella group, powered completely by students.
For HCC student Nicole Matafari, the inspiration to build Dragon Scales from scratch came from two friends, both of whom were in a cappella groups at UMBC.
When they told me that they were in the a cappella group, I was jealous. I really was like, oh, I wish that HCC had a cappella group.
And she said we should start one. And I was like, okay. So we did.
She told me, you know, I saw you in high school and I knew that you were always singing and I wanted you to, you know, be in the group. And I was like, okay, like, just let me know the audition dates. She was like, come on, I just need help. And I was like, okay.
Dragon Scales now has 10 members. Nicole is a soprano who also handles logistics. Emily and Jayla both sing alto and arrange music while teaching other members the art of arranging.
I arrange the Good Things Fall Apart. I like when notes clash and dissonance. During the part of this song, the lead is saying, overthinking's got me drinking, messing with my head. So I wanted it to be like a massive part in the song, just like overthinking. So it's all these different parts, all these different songs, just, you know, thinking of a whirlwind and your mind is going crazy almost.
Getting over you.
But the most powerfully moving experience for the students was their very first concert at HCC.
I was like counting the days, counting the hours down, and when the day finally came and it was like literally showtime, I was like, oh my God, it's finally happening. When I first stepped out, I was like, oh my God, there's a lot more people than I thought that was going to be there. And when I started singing and I saw them smiling and clapping along, I was really happy.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Pathways. Thank you for joining me.